Friendly faces from before trick you into thinking this is it. Hello, y'all. That was Fathom All the Animals, uh, Confession Booth Glory Hole. I did not make it. That's the official title from their new album. What volume is this? I highly recommend it. I'm friends with the band. I'm just gonna brag a little bit. Also, it's a full disclosure. Let us get Stout up here. If I could just find. There's the button. Nope, that's not the button I'm still looking for. Shit. This is the button I'm looking for. Hi, Stout. How's it going? I found the button to make volume happen.
Hello. How's it going? How's everybody doing? Awful? Excellent.
I just have a nagging cough from my COVID battle with COVID. So
Oh, yeah. That'll last for a little while.
also mostly it's because I keep smoking weed. I'll be
That
really
too.
honest. I know exactly
Well, I
why
mean,
it's happening,
yeah. I can imagine
but I
that
need the nausea relief very badly.
starting that kind of thing up right after having COVID would just make it persist even longer, I would imagine.
I definitely still have a cough because I cough,
But
but
like,
like I cough more after weed.
it's like, what are you supposed to do though? I guess that the answer then would just be to use edibles more for a short time, if you could. But yeah,
I'm getting my weed tomorrow. I have a doctor's appointment and weed, and gonna also get my meds because I gotta pay for that shit too. And then I'll be very broke because I definitely spent too much this month already. Cause
of course.
I spent $50 on two action figures like a dork. I got this Voltron and this Godzilla, but they're in the Shogun Warriors style packaging. And while those
Oh,
original toys came in boxes, the plain green one in the box is sold out, and I didn't want the brain one. So also decisions
very
like
cool.
were like, oh, this is $50, or I could get these two figures for the same price, and I should have just got the one figure, the
Yeah,
Godzilla. But like hey, the Godzilla is unpunched. I'm pretty happy about that actually.
cool.
Yeah, I know it's probably not that uncommon to have an unpunched figure these days because people are collectors. But in the back in the old days, finding older figures with unpunched cards is pretty incredible actually. For some of those lines, it's very rare. Yeah, but here we're talking about movies. I'm sorry for getting a little sidetracked with nerdy shit, but
Yeah, movies. We actually are kind of on time this
you
week.
were late to you.
No, I mean, like, we
Oh,
didn't wait for a month to do
hmm.
it this time, you know?
Yeah, it's like you ran out of spoons. I had a bad fucking week, and like it was
You
just
had
like yeah,
COVID. That was the week you had
COVID.
COVID.
Yeah, I was seeing my friend. Actually, I watched Paranoid Agent. I finished off that series today with my friend, and we haven't seen each other in a month because of COVID and no spoons last week.
Yeah. But yeah, because of that,
So, and
this episode probably won't be 5 hours long.
we were supposed to,
Probably.
I think 3 hours are a big one, but me and my friend were supposed to meet yesterday, but I was hanging out with the that cute girl I've been spending a lot of time with. Yeah. So I wish I did again today. uh, I have a feeling I'm going to a lot in the future because we're having fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, our first movie that we watched was Maltese Falcon from 1941.
Oh wow,
But
we're starting off with Maltese
that's where we
Falcon.
started. That's what we started with watching.
Wow.
Yeah. Right. Because
It's
let
like,
me
holy
scroll back.
shit, this
Yeah, because last
we
one before that
it's
was
like
Mad as Raid 2, and that's what we already talked about that.
it feels like we just watched that because we did
Because
just
we did
watch
just
that.
watch
But
that
like,
2 weeks ago.
I'm so used to us
Yeah,
missing weeks that it's
we
like,
only have
yeah.
like 9 or 10 movies to talk about this week. So,
Uh
And
So
we're actually very quickly nearing the end of Twin Peaks, so
yeah,
we will be talking about that at some point too.
I I've already seen the Maltese Falcon several times. This was your first
This
experience,
was my
wasn't it?
first movie, yeah, my
So
first time, yes.
what do you think?
I really liked it. Bogart's an asshole in the best, most likable way. He plays these scummy shitbags. Uh, Casablanca, Treasure Sierra Madre, Key Largo, In a Lonely Place. He's just these tormented bastards, you know?
Mhm. He
And
plays the perfect tormented
he
bastard.
plays the
Yes.
perfect tormented bastard. And this is actually probably the most famous example of a MacGuffin.
Hmm.
Because
Yes,
the Maltese Falcon
absolutely.
itself serves no purpose other than to drive the desires of the characters to do the things they do.
Yeah.
That's it. By the way, that's the probably the most other famous one is Pulp Fiction, the briefcase
And
and MacGuffin.
I love what they say at the end because that's also the perfect like description of a MacGuffin. Uh, if you want to be like metaphorical about it, right? It's the stuff that dreams are made of, right? It's not
Yeah, yeah,
important in any other way than it drives and motivates the characters in the
right.
movie. It motivates their dreams.
And the
It's
thing
the
is,
stuff that dreams are
people
made of.
people say that that the Infinity Gauntlet and the gems are MacGuffins, but I say the Maltese Falcon serves 0 points. The briefcase in Pulp Fiction has nothing to do with anything else in the story, other than people want it. The reason there's a specific plot reason to retrieve the Infinity Gauntlet in the stones. Therefore, it's disqualified from being a MacGuffin. I had an argument with someone earlier this week about that, and I left that fucking Discord because people were stupid. Jesus fuck. I can deal with some people who are like, "Oh, I haven't seen a lot of movies." Fine, it's great. You know, that has nothing to do with whether you have good taste or know what the fuck you're talking about. In this case, it was they didn't know what I was talking about. I corrected them, and they got pissy about it. I'm like, well, I don't want to talk to these people anymore. There was a dog pile on me. I was like, bro, you're all fucking wrong. You're wrong.
Right? I hate when that happens,
Look,
but no, I'm actually right. What the fuck? I'm right.
I've told like every single Planet Lovers something I would tell when there's something I know is obviously right. There could be a million teachers tell me that it's the wrong answer, and I would still choose it because I know it's the right answer. That's called
Mhm.
conviction, by the way. So,
Yeah. Um, so I
sorry,
would
we got
say
a
about
fucking rant. Wee.
we always do.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
what makes
I'm
this
really
show
fucking
great.
high right now too, so we're
Um,
golden.
with the Maltese Falcon, I feel like every time I watch it, I notice something that I maybe didn't notice before, or maybe just remember things that like I didn't remember about it
Hmm.
before, you know. And in this case, it was really just his attitude about his partner because when his I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but something happens to his partner and he doesn't seem too upset by what happens. And then the way that he talks to people about it makes you think maybe he did actually have something to do with it, which doesn't end up necessarily being the case. But at the same time, it's like the way he uses language,
Hmm.
it just makes it so that even you, the viewer, can't tell. Wait a minute, is this guy actually a bad guy or is he the good guy that we're supposed to be cheering for? You know?
I would say, as far as Bogart performances, this does not live up to In a Lonely Place. I think In a Lonely Place might be a career topping performance by him. I have to see the rest of his movies, but
I
In a
love that
Lonely
movie.
Place is incredible. I understand entirely why it's your favorite movie, one of your favorite movies, because watching that movie is floored by Bogart's performance. I think it's like 9 out of 10. I rated it. I mean, like at least an 8. It's definitely not lower than 8 out of 10. I'm not even gonna look. I'm just gonna hold by my conviction. I did feel there is. It's only 100 minutes, but it did feel a little slow in places, and I feel that's just because of how movies were made at the time.
Mhm.
So having just come from like a week of like frenetic action movies, I think maybe my expectations of the pace of the movie had been altered a bit because we'd watched a lot of those things. Also, We talked about They Come at Night, right? And that's not what it's called. What is that movie called? The Night Comes for Us.
Oh
We
yeah.
watched that, right? And then literally like yesterday, day before, I watched it again with a bunch of new friends and stuff. So it's like, yeah, pretty cool. I really fucking like that movie. Anyway, so I think perhaps my expectations were altered by the fact that for like a solid week I just watched some crazy Hong Kong action films and wildly paced like TV shows and all this other shit. And so I think coming
And I
to
imagine
this
that you had been watching New York Ninja more than a few times in that time period as well.
3 times in 9 days, I'd watch
So,
it again. Don't
yeah.
fucking test me. But yeah, Maltese Falcon. I really fucking enjoyed this. I thought this was probably from the 5 movies I've seen. This is the third best Bogart. Key Largo is number 2, and A Lonely Place is number 1. Key Largo is so fucking good
I
because
need to watch that again. I
he's a.
have it.
I think
But
I can record it off TCM. I think it's showing soon.
yeah,
Or maybe it already showed. He's such a
it's on
like.
HBO too.
He's
So.
such like a kicked dog mentality character. Like he is this way because the
Mhm.
world's beating him up. Same with the Sierra Madre. And the Sierra Madre, he just frustrated me because he was
I'm pretty sure I've seen
paranoid.
Key Largo. It's just been a long time. So
I thought we watched that together. Did I watch it with someone else? I may have watched it with someone
yeah, I'm
else.
pretty sure I
I
think
must have
we
watched it
watched
with my friend
it together.
Madeline. Because I wasn't hanging out with
Either
Amelia at that point.
either we watched it together or I watched it alone fucking 10, 15 years ago. It's one
Because
of
I
those
watched it
things.
last year, like straight up for the first time.
Well, we'll
So
have to look into it, but I don't.
I, I mean, but I look. I can actually look. I'm gonna go look. Look, I'm gonna go
You're gonna
double.
look
Now I'm gonna
at it.
double check fucking Lonely Place. Where the hell is it?
I was going to say at
Nine out of 10, yo. Look at that shit.
made in 1941. Maltese Falcon is actually one of the earliest examples of film noir.
Were the
And the like
other versions of the film not? There are 2 other movies. There's another Maltese Falcon and Satan Meets a Lady, if I remember correctly. Isn't that?
night the f- I think this is the second of those three, and the first one the first one this is a remake of was in 1931,
Where did
and
I
it
watch
was
this
like
with?
a crime drama. It wasn't the same kind of
Oh,
thing.
you know what? I bet I watched this with someone who I'm not friends with anymore.
Mm. Well, anyways,
It wasn't
um,
my choice. We'll put it that way. Just the
it
way it goes.
was this was one of the
Yeah.
earliest film noir movies for sure. Because like they really didn't do film. I mean, there are probably one or two movies that were made in the late 30s that you could make a case for, but the film noir didn't really take off until the 40s, and specifically with like Double Indemnity, when all the major beats were put into place with that. But like
Okay.
it wasn't a big thing until the 40s, and
Is this
Maltese Falcon in 1941 was one of the first ones.
is this just a streaming copy of the movie? Can I just
Mhm.
watch this? Is it playing? There's nothing's playing. Oh, is it because I have
I
an ad
don't
blocker
know.
on? Oh,
I
I
have
think.
very little information. You've just told me that you're trying to play a movie or
Oh,
something.
it's trying to play. I'm paused because I need to watch an ad. Oh, there it
For
is.
what? I don't even know what the movie
Sorry,
is.
I found out. I think we can watch African Queen on Pluto TV for free with ads.
That makes sense.
I really want to see that movie. For years now, I've wanted to see. Yeah, look at that. Fuck. All right. Well, I'll have to
It
look.
is
I'm gonna have to go add that to the list for things.
mediocre, but it's worth watching.
African Queen.
Yeah,
Oh, really want to see it because there's
I
heavy.
know because of the Jungle
In
Cruise and
case you
stuff.
pulled the number here, it's because of Jungle Cruise. Yes. Where is Pluto? Let me add that to my list. Pluto
I mean,
TV.
I can see how it was definitely influential, and there are some shots in that movie that are fucking phenomenal. But like, hmm, personally, in terms of like storytelling and everything, African Queen is was kind of meh for me. It was like,
Yeah, all right. Well, I guess we'll
okay,
find out when we watch it, huh? Maybe you'll change your mind.
maybe I
Maybe you'll think
will.
it's the best
Maybe I'll
after
be
that.
like, No, still meh.
I think I have Angels with Dirty Faces recorded. Or it should be recording in about a week or so, actually.
Ooh, that's a good
To
one.
Have and To Have Not, I think I already have recorded. And Dark Passage, I think I have recorded also.
I have that one too.
So we'll
Yeah,
have to look through some of my.
I got that sight unseen and still haven't seen
Well,
it.
hey, you know. But yeah, sorry. Humphrey Bogart, we're probably going to dive into his movies a little bit more coming up. Um, Next up. Oh, yeah, what'd you give Maltese Falcon?
I think it's an 8 out of 10 for me.
All right. I gave it an 8 out of 10 also. There's a reason why it's his third best film, and it's not his second best film so far. Maybe I'll like maybe I'll like some of his other movies better. You never know. Next up, Species 2 from 1998. So, I grew up in Southern California, and I went to the opening day of the Winnetka Multiplex in Winnetka, California, and uh, I was only 16. I couldn't see Species 2 without sneaking in, so I got a ticket for something else and snuck in. My friend was 17. He went in, and Species 2 was the first R-rated film I saw in theaters.
Ah,
Yes. So the threesome scene, that's the one scene that was burned in my head. I share everything with my sister at that moment. I was like, as a kid, I was like, what? That seems wrong. And the answer is it is wrong, kids.
it's like, oh boy,
So yeah,
that movie
what
is
was I saying?
fucking wild.
It's a weird movie. There is definitely that weird incest that happens.
It takes the concept of the original movie and just fucking takes it to completely out there
The
levels.
premise is this manned mission to Mars. Accidentally, one of the people got infected with the male version of the alien from the first movie, and now they want to fuck. And Phil's like in heat, even though
That's
she's like miles away in a laboratory underground, and like they use her to track him, and he's fucking around town, and everyone he fucks explodes because human biology can't handle it. Like
it's Horny Aliens the movie. That's what it
yeah,
is.
it's also a weird body horror the movie. Like I liked it,
Yeah.
but it's only a 6 out of 10 because the story is really weak ass story.
It's
The
really
effects are great.
weird.
The effects are really great. So
It's one that I like. I'm glad that I watched because it's so fucking out there, you know? But at the same time, oh, it is weird.
yeah, I
And
don't think it's. I'm gonna say it's not gonna be most
there are
people's. I'm
moments.
gonna say it's not gonna be most people's cup of tea.
Yeah.
If you were like in love with the first species, you might really like the second species because it builds upon the first one. You know, um,
We say it's not a bad sequel,
I know the
honestly.
third
All
one and the
things
fourth
told.
one are not good. I'm not gonna probably visit those for a long time, but we will eventually watch them. I think.
Oh God, they're worse.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as far as sequels go, I do think this one's pretty good. And I say that because whenever I think of movies that have like horror movies and sequels, I compare it to like Hellraiser primarily. I
Oh,
compare them all to Hellraiser because it's like that's my bottom of the barrel right there. Now this
really?
the
Oh, you
the
mean the sequel
original
wise? Yes.
the original Hellraiser 2 sequel, which I maintain may in fact even be better than the original
It's a
film.
precipitous fall from the second movie. Like it's quick.
But from there, yeah, it's like it goes from like for me, I think the first one 8 out of 10, the second one 9 out of 10, the third one
Yes.
it's like a 6 out of 10,
I give
the
it a
fourth one
seven
is like a
because
5 out of 10,
I give that one
and
a
then the fifth
six.
one is barely watchable.
And everything else that's got like 1 or 2 stars. I kid you not, because
It's
they're all
just fucking
the
awful.
reality of those of everything from 4 to 9, 11. They're 11 now, I think. From 5 to 11, excuse me, is that they're all scripts that were cobbled together at the last minute, or movies that previously had been written that were rewritten to include Cenobites. and it fucking shows. The one with the detective, the noirish one, was interesting. I will give it that. There are going to be fans who defend that one, and I respect your hill that you're dying on. But I still gave that movie like 1.5 stars. Like, I'm sorry. On Letterboxd, it's like what, 3 out of 10.
It reminds me of
So
the same kind of thing happened with the Wishmaster movies, where it's
I've
like
only seen the first one.
the first one is okay, the second one is not as good, but like I think maybe kind of worth watching.
Warlock is
Uh,
the series I keep crossing with
and the
Wishmaster.
third
So
one is like, oh my god, what happened? Why did you do this to me?
because I
But
like
it's
Wish, I remember liking Wishmaster 1, and I remember Warlock 1, but I can't remember which sequels are which. So I probably should watch. We should probably watch both those franchises. I think it'd be kind of fun to review for this show.
yeah,
Slowly,
yes.
slowly. We did watch a lot of Bad Ben in the last 2 weeks, but we love those movies so much.
Bad Ben is fun though. Like that's the problem with these movies is they're just not fun. They're not good. They're boring. They commit the sin of being boring and not good.
Fair, fair, fair. Sorry for coughing, chat.
But yes, Species 2, 6 out of 10. It's okay.
We already talked about The Punisher 89. Do you want to talk to chat about The Man Who Killed Don Quixote while I go pee real quick?
Sure.
All right.
So, The Man Who Killed Don Quixote is a Terry Gilliam movie that he had been working on for decades. For so long, in fact, that they made a documentary about all of his failed attempts to make this movie, right? That there were several attempts. He was given the green light several times to and the money to produce the film several times. And for one reason or another, it just never got made. Every single time something came into play and just it never got to the editing floor and never got made. So like there's footage in the documentary, mind you, of like at one point Johnny Depp was involved with the fucking film. And you can see footage of Johnny Depp in the role that I believe Adam Driver plays in this film. Um, but to be fair, the film has, I think, changed quite a bit from what it was originally intended to be, necessarily because every single time he tried to make it, it didn't get made. So through the years, there are going to be some changes made to the formula. So, like, it's not exactly the same character that Johnny Depp played, but it's kind of sort of similar to the character that he was playing. And you can kind of tell if you watch the documentary yourself. But yeah, we watched that documentary. This is a documentary that Elise had seen many years ago, and then she showed it to me, and then we were both like, "I wish this had gotten made. I really want to see this movie." Right, and at that point, the movie was still in like in film. I don't know. It was in hell, right? Like they couldn't actually get the fucking thing made, and at the time that we watched that documentary, it was it had not yet been even announced that they were going to make the new movie, right? And I think it was like a year or so after we watched that documentary that they finally announced that Terry Gilliam was finally going to make another attempt to make the movie. And we both said, yeah, sure, we'll see if that happens because there's a whole fucking documentary about how this movie never got fucking made. And there were several attempts to make this fucking movie, right? There's this whole
Five
documentary.
attempts. There were 5 attempts, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
And
5 attempts. There were 2 attempts before Lost in La Mancha.
mhm.
Lost in La Mancha's the third attempt. There were 2 more attempts after, and this time he finally succeeded. And each time, I
We didn't
felt,
believe it though. Remember, like we watched the documentary. What I was telling him was we watched the documentary like 10, 15 years ago, something like that.
yeah, we never thought it'd
And
happen.
that went at that point. The announcement had not yet been made that he was still going to try and make this movie, right? And it was like a year or so after we watched the documentary that he announced, "Nope, I'm still working on the movie, and we got funding. We're going to do it, right?" And at that time, a year after he'd watched the documentary, we're both like, "Yeah, well, sure, we'll see." We didn't believe it. We didn't believe that it was ever going to happen because it hadn't happened in like 20 fucking
Not
years.
only that, I watched this film in like 2005 in film school with my roommate Tony, and we were talking about how he'd been following the movie for years. He has been waiting for that movie to be finished longer than I did. He probably saw it in theaters. He probably rushed out to fucking see that shit as soon as possible. You know, but God, what a strange movie. I would not say it's Terry Gilliam's best,
I don't
and,
think it is either,
but I don't think
honestly.
it's his worst either.
I feel so bad to say that because he worked so, I had spent so much time
Tried
getting
so
this
hard.
finally fucking made. But like, yeah, it's kind of mediocre. There are some issues with it.
I
You
feel
know,
like
it's
everything after Tideland has been iffy with Gilliam. You know,
I do like Adam
I
Driver.
think
I
it
think
might
he
be a
does a
budget
fucking
thing more
great
than
job.
anything. I'm sorry. Can you say it again? I talked over you.
I think I said I do like Adam Driver. I think he did an excellent job in the film.
Well, I
I
agree. I didn't think there was any bad acting or anything.
I don't typically like Adam Driver in a lot of things. I
I
but
and the same. I actually don't like him, but I don't hate him. He's all
but
right.
in this movie, I loved him. He has great comedic timing. I wish
He
he would do
does.
more comedic roles.
He does. He's actually
Like
a really incredible actor. I just
yeah,
there's just something about him that's off-putting to me. It's nothing
his
personal to him
deadpan
because
is
I
just
bet he's.
fucking.
I'm sure he's a nice guy. Like whatever. Like I'm not here to judge his personal character, only what I perceive from artistic manner. And it might
Yeah.
just be the characters he's playing that makes me so off put by him.
Oh, yeah. And this character is
You
a
know?
fucking asshole for
Yeah,
sure.
he plays a lot of assholes, right?
Mhm.
So so it's like I'm a little. I mean, like I watched like my first exposure to him was Girls. This is before I saw Star Wars, and he's a fucking complete, absolute monstrous prick in that fucking show. He's the worst. He's the fucking worst. I hate him. I fucking hate him in that show. He's such a fucking self-absorbed prick.
I think my favorite, even beyond his role in Star Wars, Kylo. Um, my favorite role that he ever did was actually just the SNL skit that he did
Oh, he's been
with
great on
what's his
SNL.
face. Yeah, um, he played like an old codger kind of guy,
Yeah.
a rich old white bear, oil baron. That's
Hmm.
and he comes into like a fucking high school class and starts yelling at the kids about what they need to do to succeed, and it's fucking hilarious. It's just he nails that character to a T in a way that no SNL fucking actor has been able to nail a character in like 15 years.
Well,
It's
they're
really
not trying to like be perfect,
I'm just
on that
yeah, I'm
show.
just saying like he was really fucking good in that skit.
I mean,
Highly recommend checking it
I think
out.
he's been on there 3 times. I've seen it 2 of them at least. He's a he's so good. He's so
Yeah.
good. He's a really
I bet
funny
the
guy.
reason they don't invite him on more is because he always shows them up or something.
No, he's really busy. He's in a lot of blockbusters
That's
nowadays.
true. That's true. Yeah. But back to the movie though. The Man Who Killed Don Quixote is about a filmmaker. Adam Driver plays a filmmaker, and he's making an adaptation of Don Quixote, or Man of La Mancha, and um, he is struggling to find the his Don Quixote, if you will.
Yeah,
And oddly enough, it's just
I
this
feel
is one
like
of the things where it makes the movie so fucking weird is that he actually originally fucking shot a short film based on the Don Quixote character, uh, which is what got him into the film industry to begin with. And he's been brought back to the exact same location where he, or very close to the same location where he originally filmed that short film, a student film, right? And he's basically doing the same movie again. It's so fucking weird. It's surreal. It's
Yeah,
very surreal.
it is. No, no, I agree. Uh, yeah, fuck, where am I? I feel like since he's probably had to rewrite it a few times for rights issues, right? I feel like he leaned too heavily in the meta aspect. Like there was always a producer falling into the role of of Pancho to is that his name? Shit, I feel like his name. I can't remember his name.
Sancho.
Sancho. Thank you. Sancho. He like falls into the role of Sancho. That was always the plot, right? To some crazy old man, some out there old man, right? And so I feel like he just leaned way too far into that, and now it's like set in like modern time, and he's just like someone who's like having an episode or something. Like it's I don't know. It just
And at some point, it's almost as if the whatever is causing the Don Quixote character to believe that they actually are Don Quixote. It's almost like it becomes a disease of some sort because it infects him. It
yeah.
infects the producer. And
Hmm.
it's like,
It
what is
is.
going
It's like a
on
social
here?
virus, right? Like
It's very strange. Yeah.